Welcome back to Access Anime. I'm Henshin Ikeda, and today I'll be doing a walkthrough and review of Btooom Episode 9. Now, if you remember from last episode, we were introduced to a new character by the name of Murasaki. Now, we got to meet her in an unconventional way. She was actually on top of Himiko, flashing looks like a flashlight in her face, and then running away. Now, she was freaked out, obviously, and talked to some, Sakamoto, and Sakamoto ends up finding Murasaki in a different building because she left the light on, apparently. And it looks like Murasaki's been on the island like forever. Like more than just a month or so. Now we do find out she jumps Sakamoto and is scared of hell of men. She's scared of men, so she doesn't talk to him and she fights him. Now eventually she passes out. Himiko walks in and she's able to talk to Murasaki more in a calmly manner. We find out that Murasaki's actually been on the island before, but she wasn't a winner of the original Btooom game that was on the island. She was the loser. She's a survivor, not a winner. Now we do see her missing a limb. One of her arms is missing. So that's why Sakamoto couldn't find her on the radar. She doesn't have a crystal. So I was very puzzled about that. But that's an interesting way to, avoid being detected, I guess. But that wasn't by choice. Now we do a flashback where we see Murasaki, how she actually ended up on the island. It started off at a hospital she worked with a doctor by the name of Dr. Date. Now she loves this guy compassionately, and when he screws up, she tries to cover for him in general. But that doesn't work out because she ends up getting fired over it, more or less because Dr. Date kind of ousts her in front of the board, so she's fired. So now it was like a couple days or so later, or however many days later after she got fired, she gets like one of those little papers that says, do you want to send so-and-so to this island? So she signs up Dr. Date. Now ironically, someone signs her up and they both end up on the island, and they fall in love with each other, and they're using each other to get off the island. Now toward the end of their little game they were playing, they're past 6 crystals, right? They're at 6 crystals, and they each have their own crystal, which would make 8. You see Dr. Date use his own little BIM to blow her arm away and kill her, or at least it appears like she's dead, but she's still alive, but missing an arm. Takes the crystal, and that's the end of the game. He gets in a chopper, and he's out. He's the winner. And she's the loser, but she's still a survivor. Now, she didn't go anywhere. She stayed on the island, but that was the most interesting part. So now we know a little more information about Murasaki. Now we are taken to a different scene, and we find out apparently Dr. Dates is back on the island. What? I guess no one really likes him back in Japan, to be honest. But Dr. Date is back on the island, and he's with Tiara. And again, that's where the last episode ends. Ironically, he's back on the island, he's with Tiara. I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll find out. And again, I'll hold my final thoughts and my rating at the end of the clip, so stay tuned. But let's dive right in. Now, we open up this episode exactly where we left off. I love that. Now, we see Tiara. He's with Dr. Date. He's on the couch, slightly passed out, but he's all bandaged up. He's all wrapped. He looks healthy now. Now, we don't know why Dr. Date is helping him out, but we do know he was a previous winner. That's what we do know. Now, the only other person that knows about this is Himiko, but she doesn't know the name of the doctor who Murasaki was actually talking about, so she has no idea that Dr. Dates is back on the island. But sorry, I digress. Moving on. Now, we do see, again, Dr. Dates fixing up Tiara, and he's feeling very comfortable, so he ends up talking about himself to Tiara, telling him he is a doctor, and he's from Chibi. But before he's able to go any further, we see Himiko and Sakamoto appear out of nowhere, and they're very concerned because they do not know who this guy is. And yes, he did bandage up Tiara, he did help Tiara out, but who the hell are you? Now, automatically he's playing the I'm the innocent person card. He's milking this because, he sees all these people in one room. He's going to play the nice guy. Now, Sakamoto is by far not convinced this guy is 100%, so he asks to see his BIMs, his bombs. Because, if you find out that this guy's missing a few bombs or has someone else's bombs, you can't trust him. He's a killer. And that's what Sakamoto was trying to get a feel for. Is this guy good or bad? Now, apparently he's clear. He didn't use any of his bombs are all intact. He doesn't have anyone else's bombs, so far he's safe. Now, what we do find out is he's actually been on the island for 3 days, and he hasn't run into anyone, so of course he hasn't killed anyone. Now, I think I kind of hate this part, but before I describe the part that I don't like, we do find out what Dr. Date's bombs actually are. They are remote-controlled BIMs, so he's got a bracelet that controls them remotely, and I found that was actually pretty unique. We haven't seen that yet throughout this series, so that's another unique bomb we get to see. But again, moving on, back to the part where I kind of felt like Sakamoto was losing it. He's trusting this guy, this Dr. Dates. He automatically decides he's going to trust them, now that he's passed his little test of showing him his crap, his BIMs. So he's like, he like puts it right on the table. He's like, hey, Dr. Dates, I've got 3 crystals. And you see Dr. Dates literally like, you've got 3 crystals. Like, he's thinking about this. He's like, suckers. I mean, think about it. You got 3 crystals on one guy, and then among the other characters, you've got 3 more. So that's 6 crystals plus his equals 7. He's only got 1 more. Now, what Dr. Dates doesn't know is that Tiara has 3 crystals. Himiko has 1, obviously. Sakamoto, he's got 3. If you do the math, that's 7 crystals plus what you have on yourself, you know, Dr. Dates, that's 8 crystals. But again, he doesn't know this. All he knows is he hears the number 3 crystals, and then he thinks, well, among the kids, you know, and Tiara, that's 3 more, that's 6, plus yourself 7. All you have to do is find 1 more person. So, Sakamoto, you're a dumb fuck. Congratulations. I have no idea why you told him that, but you're a dumb fuck. Sorry. I'm the judge, I'm the executioner, and you're a dumb fuck. You should never tell that information to anyone. Specifically Tiara. I mean, he's got 3, and now you've got 3. That's 6. Among the 3 of you, you know. Wow. But moving on, sorry, I digress so much. Now, we do find out there's a cargo plane in the background while they're talking, and it's dropping supplies. Now, Sakamoto takes the lead. He's actually the leader of this group, technically. He's a self-proclaimed leader, and he decides, let's go after the supplies. So he takes Himiko and Dr. Date with him to go get the supplies. And he kind of tells Tiara, we'll be back, don't worry, you can trust us. That's good enough. I mean, right now, Sakamoto's the leader, we can trust him. Now, we do see everyone running for all the cases where the supplies are at, and they're just flying. They're like, you see them with a parachute, and it looks like they're heading toward the sea. So they're coming close to them, but they're not close enough to grab them. And, you know, Sakamoto decides he's going to use his radar and start pinging everyone, you know, just to get a feel of where everyone's at. We see 6 different, well, we don't get to see the people in general who's following, like the supplies. They get pinged 6 different characters besides Sakamoto, Dr. Date, and of course Himiko. So that's 9 different people that are going after the case. But, you know, Sakamoto's not convinced at all about what's actually happening. Like, he figures if we keep going for the supplies in general, everyone's going to bug out because we have a bigger amount of number. We have more people. So, you know, you're safe with the numbers, technically, in this case. And we see people bugging out one by one by one. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And eventually, there's only 2 other people. So you have the 3 that are running for the case, plus 2 other people that were pinged. And we don't know who these people are, so I felt kind of, what? Who are these people? Now, we see, again, Sakamoto running for the case, and he's about to get it. And then we see Oda. Oh, he is back. He is back. Finally, we get to see a new... Well, he's not really a new character in my opinion, because we already know what he's capable of, but he's finally back. Now, we do see Oda versus Sakamoto, and they're running for the case, and they're jumping off the cliff to actually get it, which I thought was an amazing moment we get to see. Now, automatically I assumed it's going to be like a one-on-one fight, and it is for the most part, because we see both of them using their BIMs, and they have the same BIMs. They got crackers. So I believe they're using crackers, but don't correct me if I'm wrong. Let me presume they're crackers. They're not the ones that count down, but they're the ones that instantly explode, and they throw them at each other, and it cancels out. What are the odds that they have the same BIMs, and they cancel out at the exact same moment? That was like an amazing turn of events, and I was very like, it doesn't get any better than this. Oh, but it does. Oh, it so does. But sorry, I digress. Moving on. Now, we do see they're trying to reach for the supplies, but we don't know who's going to get the supply case while they're fighting, just that their BIMs have already been thrown, and there's like little space between them. But before we get to find out any more, we're taken to a different scene. Now, we see Hidema. Now, Hidema is Oda's partner. So Oda's got a girl, and Sakamoto, he has Himiko, so it's an interesting, you know, interesting little pair up. And she sees, Hidema actually sees Himiko, and she freaks out. She takes the defensive position. She has a metal lead pipe. Literally, she has a metal lead pipe, and she goes after Himiko. And I thought this was hilarious. So it's like a miniature cat fight, right? That's the build-up, and I thought it was well worth watching. But we see a BIM being used, and it's being left on Himiko's chest after she's been defeated. That's right, Himiko's already been defeated? Wow. She's got a bomb, a BIM on her chest. I thought, oh, this is the end of it. We see Hidema walking away, and we hear an explosion. You're like, really? Himiko, you're dead? That easy? By a girl that's not even that... You know, she doesn't even look that amazing to me. She's just Hidema. She doesn't even look that attractive. I mean, Himiko, you've got the chest, you've got the attitude, you've got Sakamoto in general, and you're already taken out? Wow. That's all I can say. Now we are taken to a different scene. Now we see Dr. Date. He's going for the supply case now, and it looks like he's got it. He's on top of it. It's his now. He's like flying in midair, but he puts his BIM on top of it, like right above the parachute, like where the little connection is, and he puts a little trap on it, and he says, "Sakamoto, it's up to you now." And you see he drops down, and it keeps going somewhere else, and it explodes randomly from the parachute, and it just drops down. So it's now, originally it's up to Sakamoto. He picks it up and he's running. So Sakamoto has it. It's like watching a football game. You see a quarterback launch it and you see the receiver catch it and he's running. It's like an amazing little tag team they have there. Although I'm not really comfortable with Dr. Date right now because we already know he's the villain, technically, as well as Oda. But sorry, moving on. We do see Sakamoto with the case and he's running. That's what we do know. But we are taken to a different scene. We actually see Hidima. And it's like a little cat fight because she's all confident that, you know, she won, she's okay with everything, but she's not going to get the crystal from Himiko because, you know, she figures the body's all decapitated, bloody. She's going to wait for Oda to return to, you know, retrieve the crystal. But before you know it, you see the smoke going away. That's right, Himiko's back. I was like, get out of here. She made the perfect entrance, and she's basically attacking Hidima with her taser, and that kind of works for the most part. But again, it doesn't work, and we see she's running her mouth off to Hidima, talking about the timers, like she's seen them before, she knows how they work, so that's why it didn't work on her. As soon as she saw it, she ran. So it looked like she died, but she didn't. Now again, Hidima's not really, she's shocked at first, but then not impressed at the same time. But before we get a lot of more information or see any more reaction, we're taken to a different scene. Now we see Sakamoto. Now he's running, he has the supplies, he's making a run for it. And we see a fire type BIM appear out of nowhere. Now it's not from Oda, and it's not from Dr. Date, and it's obviously not from Sakamoto. So we've got a fourth player now, a fourth player that's going after the supplies, and we don't know who it is. We really don't. But it's an interesting. Once you see this fire type BIM like explode, it's like X's, you know, like little X's on the ground. It looks unique, but it's got, technically Sakamoto is now engulfed in flames, like it's around him, so he can't really run anywhere. Now, I'm curious, who threw these BIMs? We really don't know, because we're left in the dark. But we see Kira. That's right, Kira's back, the little kid, but remember, he doesn't have any BIMs, so he can't really do anything. So he's not the one throwing anything, but his partner is. That's right, Kira has a partner. Now, we don't really know his partner's name, but he doesn't really look that bright to begin with, and he's not taking orders from Kira, but more or less direction from him. But he does seem capable of pushing this kid aside if he needs to. Now, he's actually the one that's throwing these BIMs. And again, his name throughout this episode was never given, so we do not know his name. But moving on to the next scene, we see Oda. He jumps through these flames, kicks the crap out of Sakamoto, takes his supplies, and jumps right out. And he's on fire, his leg's on fire, and he walks right off the cliff. Well, not walks, but he runs right off the cliff into the water. Perfectly. I'm like, Oda, you are amazing. Even for a bad guy, you are amazing. He's that desperate for the supplies. And again, he just jumps off the cliff, on fire, on his legs on fire, into the water. Sakamoto is stunned. He doesn't know what the hell to do. Now, we do see Kira. He's still giving this guy, I guess, directions, his partner, and he's throwing these BIMs. Now, Sakamoto has nowhere to go, so he's about to catch on fire himself, so he also is forced to jump off the cliff and into the water. Now, Kira already has a plan. He's trying to talk to his partner, saying, well, maybe if you go down to the shoreline, you'll be able to pick these guys off when they show up. Now, his partner doesn't really want to, he doesn't care, but he's going to do it anyways, but he just pushes the kid aside, and he leaves him there. And Kira's like, it doesn't affect him because he doesn't like adults. And I guess he's no longer his partner anymore because he doesn't follow him. Now, we are taken to a different scene. Now, we see Hidima, and she's running her mouth, saying anything she can say to Himiko that would piss her off. Like why she has her taser, she's unsecure around guys. She's literally running her freaking mouth off, and it's pissing me off. And it pisses Himiko off. You know why? Because none of it's really true. She hasn't lost her virginity. She's one of the purest players you can find. She's an amazing person, an amazing character. And yet somehow Hidima's getting underneath her skin just enough where you see Himiko attack Hidima head on, but it failed. I was like, what? This is an amazing cat fight, and she fails the first time in? Bear with me, she's got there's a lot more rounds to go. This is only round 1, going into round 2. Now we see a body lock. Hidima ends up getting Himiko in a body lock, And it looks amazing, may I add, but I thought this was the end for Himiko. And it looks like she wants to give up because she starts talking about, why do I even want to survive? But then she starts thinking about Sakamoto. And, you know, it snaps. She's doing this for Sakamoto's sake and not just her own. At least that's what I got from this episode. So she snaps and she gets out of this well, I said headlock, but it was a body lock. She gets out of it and she's able to she's able to actually stun Hidema one more time. But, you know, her taser, this little dinky taser she has, it's running out of power, so Hidema really wasn't even fazed by it, sadly. And she doesn't really run at Himiko, but she charges her, nails her down, and bashes her freaking head in. So you see Hidema bashing Himiko's head in, one after the, you know, like a constant reflex, and it looks like Himiko's gonna die. I'm just putting that out there, so that's kind of sad. But before we see Himiko die to that extent, like get, you know, blood coming out of her or anything like that, we see someone throw a BIM at both of them, and it explodes, separating them. Now it's Dr. Date's BIM. Now Himiko doesn't know what to think, but I should point out both players are still alive. None of them were really killed, but, you know, Hidema ends up going one way, and Himiko's trying to, you know, recuperate, and she notices it was Dr. Date. Now he's saying he's like the hero. He's like, oh, thank God I saved you. He's like, in his head he's thinking, oh crap, you're still alive. Now moving past that, Himiko is not convinced that this guy is 100% genuine. In fact, she now knows he's going to try to plot to kill them now. So instead of saying, you're trying to fool me, you know, you're the one that tried to kill us, she goes along with it. She's like, thank you so much. Because, you know, if she would have said the wrong thing and accused this guy of attempting to kill her, he would have killed, you know, Himiko then and there. So she's playing dumb now. So they're both playing dumb. I just thought that was funny. Now moving on back to Sakamoto, we see him washing up. He's washing up on the shoreline, but he's not off to the beach yet. He's hiding behind a rock, and he sees the supply case, but he doesn't see Oda anywhere. So that's kind of confusing, right? Because Oda was the one that, you know, ran off the mountain, ran off the cliff with the actual supplies. But in fact, we find out there's no one around. Now we see Kira's partner show up, and he sees the case, but he doesn't see any of the players anywhere. So he goes for the case, and you see Sakamoto just watching. Smart guy, smart move, because you know what? Kira's partner dies right then and there. He blows up. It was an amazing little defeat there. Now we also see Oda coming out of hiding, and he's getting the crystal off the dead corpse, the supplies, and, you know, he's about to head out. And then Sakamoto, you dumb prick. That's all I can say. What the hell are you doing? You hold this guy up from behind, and you say you're gonna blow him up. You say, put your hands above your head, walk away slowly. So he does. Oda's being so compliant. It's like, what? Why the heck are you listening? It's because he has a plan. And Sakamoto starts thinking, this is too easy. What the hell's going on here? So he starts coming up with all these different ideas of what Oda probably did, you know, to make a trap in general. I mean, he made one trap. Maybe he has another trap out there. So he says, put your hands above your head and let me see them. Open your hands up. Because he assumes that Oda actually might have the same BIM as Dr. Date. I mean, he had all these other BIM packs on him. Well, why not? Now he doesn't. We see his hands open. He's got nothing. Now we see Sakamoto do the stupidest thing. He walks close by and tries to pick everything up, like he's about to. And Oda, he's got his head slightly turned. He's at the corner of his eye. He's seeing everything. And out of nowhere, you see what's in his mouth. It's a little remote control. So that means he definitely booby-trapped his bombs and everything. So Sakamoto is like an explosion. We assume, shit, the main character's dead already? What? No. But that's what it appears. So we see, you know, Oda walk around, turns around, he takes his little bracelet, which is the remote control, out of his mouth. It falls to the ground, and he's ready to go pick up the supplies and everything. And he uses his radar to ping just to confirm that the body's been, you know, destroyed. Oh, this was an amazing comeback. We see Sakamoto on the opposite side, raring to go. And I was like, this is what we wanted to see. Hands down, Sakamoto in frickin' action. And again, that's where the episode generally ends. So we see Sakamoto ready to go. Now for final thoughts. Well, first of all, Sakamoto versus Oda. I'm interested to see where this is going to go, because Sakamoto is definitely on par with Oda, if not better. And Oda is just freaking confused. Now that he knows this kid is a Btooom player, he's kind of screwed in general. Now as for Kira, because we did see him in this episode. I have no idea if we're going to see you in the next episode or where you're going to get your BIMs from now that your partner's dead. Who you're going to side with next? We don't know. But we do know that you have it out for Sakamoto. Now, as for Himiko, she's head over heels for Sakamoto, and she's always thinking about him. So it's obvious what she's going to do in general. She's going to side with him regardless, you know. Now, if she's going to go after Hidema, I have no idea. Now that Hidema is somewhat alive, but it looks like she's a little damaged because of the attack by Dr. Date with his BIMs, I have no idea if she's going to meet up with Oda or if Oda's going to betray her to take her crystal. We don't really know. But I should point out, very interesting, we did see Oda drop his crystals in this episode. He had 4 crystals. 4! Now if you do the math, I'm just putting that out there. Tiara has 3 crystals, Himiko has 1 crystal, Sakamoto has 3, and obviously Dr. Date has 1. With 4 crystals, that's one person's guaranteed to get off the island with a second person almost on their way. So this just got more amazing. I'm just putting that out there. But again, that ends it for my final thoughts. Not too much there. But as for my final rating, I feel like a good 4.5 out of 5. You know why? I mean, there wasn't a lot of drama, but we did get to see Himiko do a little flashback of what she actually thought about, Sakamoto, kind of. So she's thinking about him. But as for the battles, there were so many battles that were actually out there that I was just amazed by it in general. I mean, we actually saw battle after battle after battle. The buildup was actually there, and I was definitely amazed. So I'm looking forward to the next episode and see where everything's going to go. And yes, the cat fight we saw between the girls was definitely amazing. I love seeing that. Just putting that out there. But again, my final rating is 4.5 out of 5. Definitely up there. I should give it a 4, but I'm convinced it deserves a 4.5 out of 5. There was enough bloodshed to go there. But again, that is it for my walkthrough and review of Btooom Episode 9. Definitely comment down below, thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe above, and check me out on Twitter and follow me if you like. But definitely comment, let me know what you thought about this episode and what you think is going to happen in the next episode that's coming out. But again, that ends it for now. I probably have a few more walkthroughs and reviews to do later on today when they're released. But if not, I'll do them in the morning. But again, stay tuned for later on, guys. And before we go, I gotta say it. Can't stop the access, but you can watch the feed. I'll see you later, guys.